Today we want to take a short video of what I call the cutoff line behind the apex of the east angle. This is a line that is generally assumed to be built by the Federals after they occupied the area during the fighting of May the 12th. However, Dwayne in his map shows that it was used by both sides. So take a video and show you what we have today, 2017, and we will walk from one end to the other. We're starting on the far left next to the pedestrian bridge that the Park Service has had built, and you can look up the Confederate line, which was occupied by Jones's and the Louisiana brigades throughout the Confederate occupation. And now we will begin to walk towards our right. You'll notice that the ditch next to the parapet was put on the side towards the Confederates, or to the interior of the angle. Now, throughout this line, there are no traverses on either side. You will also see in front of you the Confederate main line that they built when they arrived here on May the 8th. Not very far in front, you can also see, looking across the valley, towards the Landrum House site in the distance. So we're walking along. The line is curving towards the interior of the salient slightly, and again the ditch is probably about 2 feet deep. I'm going to step down into the ditch now. Parapet probably about 18 inches, and again no traverses on either side of the work, but the ditch is consistently on the inside of the work, about the same depth all the way along. And it's not, the parapet is not a continual radius. It moves in and out. There's a small salient ahead of us, which may have been, if it were in fact Confederate, a position where they could have put a gun, which is one of the points to make. If this line, once this line was built, if it were a Confederate line, they would not have been able to reach the outer line, probably 30 yards ahead. And in fact, at this point, which is right above the valley, the main line has actually dropped below the crest immediately in our front. So I think you could make an argument that if it were Confederate, that here you would have two guns side by side. One, and then the second one right in front. Over to our side here, we see excavation to the rear. Now, was this for a culvert for the Park Road, which is right behind us? Removed now, of course. Or was it something else? But again, you see the parapet, pretty much universal. And again, no ditching or traverses on the federal side. Now we come slightly uphill again, and we're seeing what appear to be traverses in front of us on the Confederate side. So, again, look at what a beautiful view they would have had. Now, also to your right, along the wood line, you'll see the wood line marks where the Confederate line, original Confederate line, extended down towards the river and then took off, turned leftward, and went towards the Landrum House. You can also see the main line out there as well. Again, we're walking along this line, which has generally been assumed to be federal, but I do have my doubts that was in fact the case. So, we know the Confederates refused their line on May the 10th. And you can see this, looking here now, you can see how the line curves back towards the absolute apex of the salient and to where it meets the outer original line coming together. So you have actually 4 lines meeting just in front of us. You have this line, the original outer line, the Confederate line that ran towards the river out to the Landrum House, and then also the refused line which formed the east face of the salient, going over towards Reese Salient. So, a lot of digging, a lot of work. Here we have a social trail that pedestrians have made over the years. But again, there are no traverses done on that side. None on the federal side, some on the Confederate side. So we're coming to the end of this line. Again, pretty uniform and relatively well-preserved parapet. So, apologize for the shakiness, but this is what we have.